These stories in today's text, when we hold them in the context of the narratives of Saul and of Peter, they serve in part to remind us that the Spirit works through big things like systems and structures, like the very dramatic conversion of Saul that stopped a wave of systemic persecution under the banner of nationalism. That's a big one. And the Spirit works through small things, like a woman who makes clothes for other vulnerable women in her community. Jesus' gospel commission reminds us that God cares about both big systemic justice, that's important, and that God cares about small individual acts of faith and care. And God's mission and our call as witnesses requires the stewardship of both our corporate and our personal efforts as we are empowered by the Spirit. So it's protesting for a ceasefire in a war far away for people you will never likely meet, and it's knowing the struggles of your literal next door neighbor. It's fighting for affordable housing in this city, and it's taking dinner to a family with a new baby or to a senior neighbor. It's stewarding our natural resources by advocating for environmental policy, and it's planting and growing food in your neighborhood garden. This is how we are witnesses. This is still what the expanding kingdom looks like. It's transformation, big and small, fast and slow. Remember what you know. I was having a conversation with a friend recently about our feelings around the inauguration and a second Trump presidency. In earnest, mostly around anger and outrage. That's what that conversation was about. And the question that we were asking one another and considering is, where does that get channeled? Where does your outrage get channeled? And I think for a lot of us, our efforts, this is what I've heard from you, the sense that I get is that our efforts have seemingly turned more local and direct. And I wonder if our focus to the things within our scope, to cultivate gospel community and walk in the footsteps of Tabitha to serve the vulnerable in our own neighborhoods, is a prompting of the Spirit to speak truth to power, in keeping in step with the kingdom of God that is ever expanding and transforming us and those around us. Now, don't get me wrong, okay? There's going to be plenty of corporate work for us to do. Multiple opportunities are coming to proclaim the expanding kingdom of God as we proclaim justice, and as we do that together and in very, very big ways. And the small stuff matters too. Each individual act is a sign that points to Jesus' ultimate total victory over evil and the things of death. In the wake of the California fires, some of our clergy friends, as you've heard this morning that we're going to be giving to, are handing out water. That's what they're doing with their efforts and their money. And it seems like such a small thing, right, to hand out water, but it is significant. A cup of water matters. Writing something that is not right, even when it is offering water to someone who does not have access to it, points to the wholeness of the kingdom of God where all things will be made right.